So ever since the halftime show, I've been on a kick. I've been making tostones and bistec, which is tostones is like the fried plantains. Yeah, I know you know, but for our audience. And then the bistec, it's a Puerto Rican steak, but the way we make it and the way we marinate it in adobo, garlic, and white vinegar.
Hmm.
And then we cook it in the marinade with some onions.
That sounds really good.
It is fucking delicious. We usually use a flank steak or a tough steak. That way the vinegar is breaking it down and shit.
Hmm.
And then I also made arroz con candule last week, the rice and pigeon peas, and I made from fucking scratch, empanadillas.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Did my white ass husband eat any of that shit?
You're married to the wrong man.
I really am. He said, "Oh, I had some of the rice, but then I got really sick, so I don't want to have that rice anymore." And I'm like, "Well, fuck you."
But it was
Sick.
something he ate before he got to the rice.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, I've gotten sick off of patele. I've broken out in rashes and thrown up all over the place off of patele. Do you know what I still do? Eat fucking patele. It's not with
Also, I
ketchup
feel
because that's
like
gross.
if it was the rice, then he should just continue eating it so that his
Just
stomach
power
can
through.
obviously get a thicker skin because there's no reason
Power
to
through,
skip
white
it.
boy. Oh, but then this motherfucker is sending me pictures of smash burger quesadillas and mashed potato balls stuffed with meat. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that looks good. And I'm looking through the recipe. And motherfucker, this is Reno de Papas.
The appropriation of that Latin food
Mm-hmm.
through different cultures and then just making like a fast food version of it is wild.
It's fucking disgusting. Stop it. Stop taking our food.
Or just like the Americanized version of some
Yeah.
of these foods is wild.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I knew that we were all headed down a interesting path with food when the CSU cafeteria had macaroni and cheese pizza as an option because who asked for that? Who
I
asked
don't
for
know,
that?
but they sell that shit at CC's Pizza too. And I swear to God, from open to close, it's the same goddamn pizza. Nobody
I'm
fucking
like,
wants that shit. It's disgusting.
I'm like, who is eating this? Who is keeping that in business or keeping that on options? And also, when we're talking about macaroni and cheese on things, I saw a video yesterday where they were I'm making macaroni and cheese stuffed lasagna rolls. So it's pasta on top of pasta.
Stop
Yes,
that
I'm
shit.
like, is lasagna is good on its own. Macaroni and cheese is good on its own. You don't need to combine the two at all.
No, leave them alone. Oh, by the way, I found a really great recipe for scallop potatoes that are so fucking easy. So fucking good. Does that count as food you can eat? Because it'll be soft.
Yeah, I think so. They said that potatoes technically aren't allowed for me, but I made pureed, very smooth pureed sweet potatoes yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel at this stage of my recovery, I'm kind of rebelling a little bit because I crisp up my sausage because sausage is fine for me to eat, especially for breakfast and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to be having soft foods. But do I leave it in the pan for a little extra time to get it a little crispy on the edges? Absolutely.
You know, you got to make sure it's thoroughly cooked. You don't want to get
Yes.
sick.
Yes. I am making sure that there is no contamination or nasty bacteria left. And so, yeah, I'm just doing my due diligence.
You ready to get this bitch started?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Half-Ass Witchery, where it's Taurus season. It might be Aries season for us. When you're saying it, it's Taurus season, though. So happy Taurus season.
We were too hungover to do the Aries episode. Sorry. We partied hard.
You know, and I think that that's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed your new year without us. And now we're back better than ever, hungrier than ever. I hope you're also hungry because we're here to feed you. We hope that you guys have been doing well, especially since we had some eclipses in Pisces season. I hope you guys came out of that well. I personally had to try and flesh out some things. I love how both me and Vanessa are eating during this actual episode. I started out eating a little bit of my lunch, and now Vanessa is eating a little bit of her breakfast.
It's breakfast time here because it's at 9:46. I'm 3 hours behind you guys right now.
Got it. So we're in an alternate timeline.
Mhm.
Like Vanessa, I'm in the future for Vanessa. And
Yeah.
so honestly, we're talking to time travelers right now that you never thought you'd have the opportunity. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Your friendly neighborhood witches and time travelers. By the
Depending
way,
on where you're at, where I'm your past.
yes. By the way, I had a student of mine look because I was showing them references for learning astrology after our apprenticeship was done. I opened up YouTube to show him different YouTube channels, and Google defaults to the Half-Ass Witchery podcast channel. And so if you guys aren't following that channel, make sure you follow that. But so they saw the logo, and so and they also saw the actual username, and so they looked it up as I'm showing them different references. And they click on one of the episodes, I forget, and they just start busting out laughing because they saw the description. And they were like, this is the most unhinged description that I've ever seen. And I love how they automatically knew I didn't write it. They were like, did your co-host write this? And I was, yep, probably so.
I'm a fucking gremlin. I've accepted this in my old age.
What episode they were looking at, but yeah, they were like, this is the most unhinged description I've ever seen. And so yeah, so there's that. But yes, okay, so as a little catch up, I'll start out first. I have an ice cream machine. I'm doing well with recovery. You guys can see a little bit of crowd.
Yeah, you're looking so fucking good.
I'm, by summer, I'm going to turn to the side and nobody's going to be able to see me.
I know that's going to be a bit of a problem for the podcast, especially when you go to yell at Benny. People are going to think you just turn invisible to yell at Benny.
Yes, I feel so bad for people. Everybody's going to be putting lost person signs out because I'm just out here looking to the side. But yeah, I'm doing well with recovery, just learning new things about my body and relearning my body, and taking lots of naps, recovering, enjoying time off from my version of work. And I got the okay today to start exercising again as normal, or my version of normal, as long as it's gradual, because technically I can't get back into aerial arts just yet. But I do want to do that. But he said I can start doing beginner stuff and some of the conditioning that it takes to be in aerial arts, which is fine. I'll need that anyway because I haven't done aerial arts in forever. So getting back into that will be a lot of conditioning for a couple months. Other than that, that's all I've been doing. So that is the catch up. I got an ice cream maker that's in my freezer. So maybe I'll make protein ice cream today. Maybe not if I'm feeling cute. Who knows? But yeah, what have you been up to, Vanessa?
Well, it was my kid's spring break last week, and my kid's not with me right now because my kid they're going through some shit, but she'll be home April 14th. Hey, folks. So at the time of that recording, it was April 14th. Later in the week, it ended up changing to a day early. She ended up coming home the 13th instead of the 14th, which awesome. That's great. And at the time of this recording, that would be tomorrow because I'm doing edits tonight on a Sunday.
Nice.
And I went to the botanical gardens, the Tucson Botanical Gardens for the first time. And that was really cool. And then we went to the Miniature Time Machine Museum. It's basically a museum of super elaborate dollhouses.
Ooh.
And
if you have pictures, you should insert them.
I will be inserting the pictures. Yeah. Some of these are really cool. And yeah.
I would find those really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dollhouses, but I've seen I don't know if you've seen when they cut out the inside of books and make a whole little forest situation.
Yeah, they had something like that in a couple of those. They had a whole scene set up inside of an egg.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be popping some pictures in here because that was really interesting. Some of these things are so freaking elaborate and detailed. You can literally read the words on the newspaper on some of these.
How does one, I wonder how that got started. Like, what person, what probably autistic or OCD person was,
It's gotta be somebody with autism. It's gotta be somebody with autism. They were this 7-year-old girl with a touch of the tiz, the looking in these dollhouses aren't accurate, and just tore the whole thing down. Her mom freaked out, and then the little girl rebuilt the whole thing to look exactly like her.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that. So my mom cracks up every time I repeat that, the touch of the tism. My mom thinks
Mhm.
it's the funniest thing ever. And now I'm going to have to hit her with this new, what you just said, the touch of the tiz.
They got a little bit of the tiz.
Right, right. Okay, so with Taurus season here,
Mhm.
it is my favorite season. You did not know I am a Pisces, but I don't know if some people would just assume that Pisces season would be my favorite because I'm a Pisces, but I'm gonna let you know that it is not, because usually Pisces season is super rainy. I mean, it's par for the course, but
Mhm.
it's always super rainy, and Pisces season is about endings, whereas Taurus season is where we see all the beginnings, and Aries season really take hold. And so the
Mhm.
weather is no longer bipolar, and we're seeing more warm days that are more consistent. Things are a bit more consistent with weather, but we're also seeing new beginnings, not just outside, but we're also just seeing new beginnings really take hold in people as well. And it's just,
Mhm.
Taurus season is so indulgent. Think the best cheesecake that you've ever tasted that maybe had like a little teardrop roll down your cheek. That's how I feel about Taurus season. It's the life air I breathe. I wait patiently for Taurus season.
So for Taurus season, you just described my Sagittarius season, to be honest. I don't know why I love Sagittarius season. I do, though. I fucking love Sagittarius season. I don't know if it's because it is a type of gothy chaos that you don't get in Scorpio, and it's in a type of indulgent that you don't really see in Taurus, and it's the last hurrah before Capricorn.
Yeah, I can see that. Sagittarius is definitely like that kind of party energy before you go into
Mhm.
a more serious time of Capricorn, where everything is like very much like, let's get our schedule together. Let's actually do the schedule. Let's make
Mhm.
sure that we are planning for the future. Let's make sure we're also achieving everything and killing it at work. Let's make sure that we're stressing ourselves out so much and still making goals for some reason on top of that before we've even achieved the goals that we just made. Like all that. But Sagittarius season is definitely, it's that Christmas kind of energy, even though Christmas is in Capricorn. I feel like we
Yeah.
should move Christmas to Sag season, honestly.
I agree, and the reason why I agree with that is because Christ wasn't actually born in December. That would be insane. He would have died.
Also, like, what Capricorn do you know that would die on a cross for other people that they've never met?
Fucking for real.
Like, no, that
What
is
is
a Pisces, because Jesus was born in March, let's be honest.
right?
He was a March Pisces. And so honestly, and also I don't want to hear any March Pisces slander. Y'all love us. I know you do. We might be a little bit more chaotic than the February Pisces. I will give us that. But
You guys are. But no, y'all, March Pisces do because my mom's a March Pisces.
Yeah.
And yeah, she will martyr herself for everybody else. Just like Jesus, she won't let you forget that shit either.
Absolutely not. We not. And I've been seeing a lot more content, and I do like this, that even though pop astrology still is like on a chalkboard to me, I do like
Hmm.
seeing pop astrology kind of catch up, or like, yeah, catch on to real astrology, like little tidbits. Things like decans. Absolutely, there is a difference between a March Pisces and a February Pisces, or a April Taurus versus a May Taurus. And essentially, what they're describing is decans, which is like when a sign is separated into three different parts, and based on what part you're in, that sign itself is influenced by a different planet. And
Yeah.
then it even goes deeper when you look at things like bounds, but that's not a pop astrology thing. But decans are becoming more recognized in pop
Oh yeah.
astrology.
Which is nice. It is nice
Yeah,
that they're finally starting to grow up. Our little
yeah.
siblings are growing up.
Yes, it gets so frustrated because astrology does take a more patient person to learn
Hmm.
it, because there is so much of it. And I think this is something that sometimes I struggle with when teaching astrology, is that
Yeah.
astrology, to learn it well, you have to basically live, breathe, eat astrology. You have to be constantly observing for how astrology is playing out in your everyday life and be willing to actually go back and say, oh, this is how this played out. This is really interesting, whether it be more literal or more figurative. You have to be willing to do that for it to make sense. Because I always say that observing will always be better than trying to predict things. And oftentimes observing will be the thing that really helps you make better predictions. And so, but yeah, that's my little soapbox rant to that.
Yeah, I have too much oddish. I have too much oddish to which is, ADHD to be to do astrology. That's like that requires way more focus than I have.
Honestly, I don't know how well, no, I do know how I got to the point where I'm at. It took years. And I think sometimes people think that you can just learn astrology in a few months. And I'm like, no, good astrologers are one, continuing to learn astrology every day, but also they got their good base of astrology with good classes or good books, and in observing most of all, because books can tell you only so much, but you're going to need to observe and listen to other astrologers for years, especially observing, to be able to get a good grasp of how to connect things in astrology. So we hope you had a great Pisces and Aries season. Let's get into Taurus season, the most indulgent of the zodiac signs. I was telling somebody on TikTok, I was like, because they were like, I hate that people always like stereotype Taurus and say that they just love food, or that they're lazy, they like to sleep, and they're like super peaceful and everything like that, or something along the lines of that. Which I did a comment, and I was, it's not that Taurus just likes food. Taurus likes good food. So they don't have to have some sort of fancy food. They can like vanilla ice cream. But is it normal vanilla ice cream? Absolutely not. It was made with vanilla paste from Tahiti. It was aged and emulsified, if that's even something you do with ice cream.
They used honey instead of sugar.
They had a little kick of bourbon in there. Vanilla was soaked in bourbon that was aged for 10 years. So it deepens the flavor. It's caramelized, but it's still vanilla. And then you put a little sprinkle of gold leaf on there. That's Taurus. It's good quality.
That's 100% Taurus. Yes.
Taurus likes good quality. It's not necessarily always about the price tag, because I think sometimes Taurus gets, people get caught up on Taurus always wanting a bargain. It's not that they're not willing to spend, it's that they want to spend on good quality stuff.
They're not cheap. They will drop a dime, a huge amount of money on something that they have assessed to be of high quality.
Yes. Okay. So I feel like with that being said, we should talk about some spells that maybe might be good for Taurus season.
So this is where I step in.
Even before we get into spells, what are some advice that you have for people just in general for Taurus season? And then I'll do my 2 cents.
I would say do a beauty routine you've never done before. So if you've never done microneedling, go and get microneedling done. If you've never gone and gotten that scalp massage thing, the deep scalp cleansing things that they do out here, if you've never had that done, get that done. According to my friend Ashley, who got one done as a trade, she practically fell asleep. It's the most relaxing thing she's ever done.
What do you think about those massages where they light you on fire?
The cupping massages?
They have the sheet on top of you from head to foot, and then they light you on fire.
Okay,
have
so
you seen that?
No, I have not. But let's start off with don't fucking touch me. I don't know if this is I don't know where this came from, but I hate massages. Like I do. If I am getting a massage, it's because the only time I've ever gotten a massage willingly was when I couldn't move my shoulders. When my kid wanted to try a massage for the first time over at Kalahari.
Okay.
I hate massages. I absolutely hate massages. The minute you touch me, I'm not relaxing. I'm tensing up and ready to fight your ass. So when you're telling me that they'll set you on fire on top of that, I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm already on fire. Have you seen my life?
I feel like when they're apparently people that have got it done, I don't know the name of this kind of massage, but people that have got it done apparently say that it just kind of registers as they're just warm, even though they're literally on fire. So I want to know, what are those blankets made out of?
Me too. Me too, because I like being warm. Don't get me wrong. I like being warm. I look forward to my day in hell because I will be warm. But don't fucking set me on fire. God damn.
I feel like something that with the whole setting on fire thing, I feel like that's still very Taurian because it's nice and cozy, but
Hmm.
also it's a little something quirky, which I know is out of Taurus's like comfort zone. So if I had to give advice, is like kind of piggybacking on yours. Do something indulgent, but something that you've never done before, but in that same scope. So if you are somebody that likes to go to the spa, try a different service or something like that. Shake it up a little bit. Because, yeah, now that I think about it, and so sorry, I had two thoughts at once. The cozy feeling to me sounds amazing, but also what I was going to say is that I think that I would do the fire massage thing a lot like when I did aerial arts. I was, you know what, one day when I have a really bad day and kind of a death wish, I'm going to try that move. And honestly, it's the same thing that registers for me for the fire massage. One day when I've had just a shit day, I'm a book a fire massage because I'm fuck it. Nothing else can go wrong today. So why not set myself on fire? And it just be a cathartic, like risky, but also safe thing to do. Why not? Because yeah, that's what I think of when I see some move for aerial arts. It looks very cool. A little disclaimer: if you ever want to do aerial hammock, aerial silks, or weir or whatever, if it looks cool, then it is scary as fuck. It definitely hurts and is very uncomfortable. And your brain will definitely try and stop you from doing it. And so that's why I say, yeah, one day when I have a death wish, I'm just going to push past all of that and just set myself on fire or do that move. And it has worked in the past. It has worked.
So on that note, Micah, do you have any forecasts that we need to be aware of? Is anybody getting set on fire? I hope.
Nobody's getting set on fire during Taurus season. I just checked some of the transits to Venus, which is Taurus's ruler during Taurus season, especially in April. Taurus season is actually very chatty because we got Venus being in Gemini during Taurus season. It's going to conjunct, or it's going to be like next to Uranus and Gemini at that time, which is going to really be a great aspect for getting together with friends, talking on the phone, getting sweet messages from family, friends, whatever, lovers, all those things. But those are like also unexpected little gestures. It can also be a time where you're going out and finding new like things to sample. So it could be like trying new foods. Gemini is sometimes like things that are literally like, if you think about the end of the word Gemini, like things, small things, little mini things. Venus is indulgence. What are those little tea cakes or whatever? That's what the Venus and Gemini kind of makes me think of.
I want a tea
That
cake now.
like little tea cakes or like macarons or like the little cute little
Little like sample cheesecakes that they have at
yes
some of these places. Yeah. Okay. All
yeah
right. I'm with you.
because Gemini is all about like, sampling things, but also not fully committing to anything and just kind of being, oh, I tried this. Let's go on to the next thing. I'm not about to buy a whole cheesecake just because I tasted a small cheesecake, because there's so many more flavors of cheesecakes out there. And so why not try all of them? So think of that as Venus and Gemini, Uranus and Gemini when you're talking about those two being together during Taurus season. Yes, are you looking at indulgence and persistence and things like that? But I think sometimes there is a little wiggle room for trying things differently. And I think that's what's being introduced during Taurus season, is that there might be other pathways to go down that you can get from point A and still get to point B if you do a little detour. I know that Taurus does not like that. I understand, but it's the energy of the time because around the end of April, we'll also see Venus squaring off with the North Node and want to talk about things. The nodes are in Pisces and Virgo, and the North Node specifically is in Pisces. Pisces likes to feel everything. It likes to daydream. It likes to be more reflective. Gemini is saying, let's talk about it, especially Venus in Gemini is let's have a conversation about this so we can maybe come to a middle ground. Let's have harmony together. Let's socialize. Again, we're getting a lot of these socializing kind of energies when we're talking about Taurus season, especially in April, because we see Venus also making a friendly aspect to Pluto and Aquarius. Aquarius is also an air sign, and so it's about what's good for everybody. Let's have conversations about how do we do best for everyone. And Venus is also going to be making another friendly aspect to Neptune and Aries as well. And so it can be, yes, that dreaming, or even dreaming with multiple people about what do you want for yourself. So I'm thinking like vision boards, or if you want a garden or something, actually testing out placements and things like that. I say testing out and figuring out what works because both Pluto, that aspect of Pluto, and Neptune are not really solid, especially because Gemini is a mutable sign. And so it's all about change and flexibility. And so lots of flexibility and change, especially when it comes to relationships, aesthetics, and just kind of how you socialize with people. I don't think you're really going to be able to get away from socializing from people in some way, shape, or form during Taurus season. That's very much the energy because we have so much fire and air energy during Taurus season. And so let's look at in May when we are finishing up Taurus season. That is, I think, the general energy that we're working with, because those aspects alone will take a while to just kind of continue to play out. Thankfully, we won't have any eclipses during Taurus season.
Don't tell me Mercury's in retrograde still. It's forever in retrograde.
No, but we did just finish up with a Mercury retrograde in early Aries season on the 20th. March 20th, we finished up with Mercury retrograde. The next one will be in Cancer season. So to all the Cancers out there, it's your turn to be tortured by Mercury. And for all of my Cancer exes, I wish you the most miscommunication, the most feeling misunderstood, and anything else that Mercury can wreak havoc on. I hope your car just randomly breaks down one day.
My God, I feel like you have some baggage we'll need to talk offline about.
Oh, I love that because that takes me back to when I was working in corporate. And they were like, can we take this offline? But yeah, so Cancer, just know your season will also be plagued by Mercury retrograde and it'll be your turn. So,
but they won't find out until Cancer season when we do the Cancer season episode because I'm cutting this shit out. Let it be a surprise.
Okay. So that is our little summary of Taurus season without keeping it super long. My advice for Taurus season, just for everybody, is to try to get a little bit outside of your comfort zone, or at least think about it if you're not actually going to do it. Because a lot of that aspect between Venus and Gemini that's happening during Taurus season to Uranus in Gemini, or even Pluto and Neptune, is asking you to look at what's just not working as well. And where is there room for a little flexibility so that you can figure out what can work better? Remember, we're sampling things. So you don't have to fully commit to a change. You can do a 30-day free trial and see if you like it, because that's very Gemini. You can definitely do like I do with Audible.
Don't forget to cancel that shit.
Yeah, right. You can do like I do with with Audible, because fuck Amazon. And you can do the 30-day free trial. And then right after you sign up for it, 5 minutes later, you just cancel it because they're obligated to give you the full trial. And you've already canceled it, so you don't have to even put a thing into your phone to remind you to cancel it. But it's those kinds of things that is very much the energy of Taurus season. You are set on not continuing an obligation. So we get that Taurus stubbornness, but also Gemini is the efficient thinking of it and the sampling that we see in that same energy as well. So yeah, just look at where things could be working a little bit better and be open to at least trying something new. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So any spells that you suggest?
Because we are having Venus and Gemini, this sounds like a really, really great time to do spell work on relationships that you're in. Relationship, not business relationships, but I'm talking friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships. This is a really great time to strengthen those relationships and to even clear up any lines of communication, because obviously a lot of us, Mercury in retrograde really just kind of took a shit on us this freaking.
Yeah.
So for a good communication candle spell, I suggest, and this is going to sound weird because a lot of the spells will tell you use a pink or a red candle when it comes to relationships. I am telling you blue because blue is associated with the throat chakra, therefore associating with communication. Add honey. You're going to dress it in honey and rose and lavender so that your words are sweet and reassuring, and add some mint so that they are clear and accepting. And then you want to burn that candle. If you have a 7-day candle, you want to burn that candle for the entire 7 days. If you are using a Crayola crayon, you want to burn it until the crayon is gone. But you want to do this. I'm going to say you want to do this for 7 days, but you can do it for just 1 day if you're about to go meet up with your mother-in-law. It's a good one to do in a pinch if you're going to meet up with your mother-in-law or that one sibling who's hypersensitive, and no matter what you say, it turns into that's an attack on them. That you can use that, I would say 3 days before you meet with them. Otherwise, do that for 7 days if you have the ability to do so.
I would also suggest a openness and discernment spell, because Gemini is information. But think about the last time that Uranus was in Gemini. Like, I think it was like late last year, like in August. I might be wrong, but Uranus was in Gemini briefly last year. Think about all the things that came out. It was a whole bunch of, I don't know what's AI and what isn't anymore. It was a whole bunch of news stories that were not fact checked at all. It was just a lot of nervous energy, and it was just a lot of conversations happening all at once. And so that can create a lot of burnout. And when we're talking about Taurus energy in general, it's good to break up that stubbornness. It is good to stand on your morals and stand 10 toes down on what you believe in, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. And so that's that Gemini and Taurus energy working together. It's not always improvement isn't always necessary in certain places, or sometimes it is. And so I say openness and discernment to be one, open to change if it needs to happen, but also to have the discernment to know in what situations that's necessary and at what time, because Gemini is just essentially flooding you with lots of information that may or may not even be true or accurate for your situation. And you want to make sure that you're filtering it well so that you can work with the information you have efficiently and focus more so on truth, especially your truth that you're looking to achieve. That would be my spell suggestion for season.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody, get your wine, get your snacks, get your edibles, gardening things, if that is time for tarot scopes and tarot time. Aries, for Taurus season, interesting. You got the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is about waiting for the other shoe to drop, which I feel like goes really interesting because Venus is in your 3rd house. And so Venus is harmony, though. Taurus is the 2nd house. And so there could be a lot of new opportunities that are coming in for your finances. But I think it maybe none of it really feels stable. And so you're like, okay, when am I going to need to like kind of jump ship? I don't know if some Aries are also feeling that whole I leave you before you leave me kind of thing with some of their friends, jobs, lovers, helpers, maybe even. But that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting, because the 9 of Wands is very much trying to look over your shoulder and not being completely settled in. It's okay, I just finished one battle. I'm recovering, which is funny because you'd be recovering from your own season, which I know, honestly, Aries, your season was rough. You have Saturn beating your ass. You have Neptune also making you super sleepy and dreamy all at the same time. You're going through it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It would not surprise me if Taurus season feels like you have been rudely awakened, but you have the energy to do almost nothing, but you want to do everything. So, Aries, good luck. Take your time.
So, Taurus, it is your season. And with your planet actually going into Gemini, there's some good things happening with it. Remember, this is the Marseille deck. So, and I do read in reverse. So, this is going to be read quite differently because I've been working more with the Marseille deck. The moon in reverse. So, in the Rider-Waite deck, whenever I pulled the moon in reverse, we're talking about you ain't going to find out shit. It is the opposite in the Marseille deck. In the Marseille deck, everything's coming to light. You are going to be doing Micah's discernment spells for sure, and they're going to hit right. So you guys are going to be, because of the let's talk about it, or let me see this person for who they are, see this person face to face and have this conversation energy that's happening in your season. You're going to really lean into that, and it's going to be very good for you guys. So we have the moon in reverse.
Gemini.
What?
I don't know who you're plotting against.
You know who I'm plotting against.
We got the Seven of Swords. Who are you lying to? What are you strategizing? What are you plotting? At the best, the Seven of Swords is strategy, it's planning, it's looking to the future, which I think really fits with Uranus in your sign, especially with Venus there. It can be a lot of changing connections and networking, but also it feels a little opportunistic. Yes, I do like this person, but also what can they give me? I think that's the middle ground of the Seven of Swords. It's the Moon and Aquarius card, so it is about changing communities, changing relationships, or all kinds of changes around goals, hopes, dreams, whatever. And so I think you're looking at your future and saying, where do certain changes need to be made? What would that look like? And is it getting me any closer to my ultimate goal? And so I think this is more strategizing rather than scheming. Although the Gemini men, I'm side-eyeing you because I feel like this is your energy. Stop lying. I'm joking, but not joking. Okay.
Cancer, we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So for the Marseille deck, this is talking about reevaluations here. When it's in reverse in the Rider-Waite deck, I usually tell people we're looking at you looking at ideas, but it's not a good idea, don't go for it. Or getting stuck at the beginning of an idea. This is saying that this is a good time for you to reevaluate where your safety and security is. Are you feeling safe at home? Blink twice if you are feeling insecure in your state. But this is definitely asking you to really look at what you've built for your safety, for your family safety, for your foundations, and do they still hold true, or is it time to move forward?
Leo. So I had to think about what house this would be in for you. With Saturn and Neptune in Aries, if they're a fellow air sign or a fellow fire sign, I'm not completely surprised that you got the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about a lot of options being in front of you, which honestly, very Gemini. But also, when we're talking about Aries energy, like Saturn and Neptune being in your ninth house, this is both an expansion on opportunities and things that you feel really resonate with your purpose. But also, Saturn is saying, okay, but we need to make some sort of decisions about this. Neptune is saying this is what could be, but Saturn is saying, okay, but what's actually reality? What actually are we trying to build with that here? And all these opportunities aren't going to align with what we're trying to build. And so, Leo, I think a lot of Taurus season is going to be you, unlike what we are talking this whole this episode about. I think it is a lot of you figuring out what to commit to. Yes, are you sampling, but Saturn is more, okay, let's reel it in a little bit. You can take your time to think about it, but just know that the end result is let's commit to something. That Taurus energy is really strong for you, especially since Taurus is your 10th house. And so it's, what do I want to be seen as? How do I want to show up on the world stage? But also, what do I really want to work with? Where is my authority? And, you know, especially personal authority. It can be with work, it can be just dealing with parents and authority figures, career, things like that. But you're being cornered by the universe cosmically, to be fair, into making a decision about something, especially when it has to do, I'd say, with your resources that you might get from a job in particular. But yeah.
So Virgos, your hyperfixation on everything being perfect, your desire to control every tiny baby aspect of every situation you're in is going to bite you in the ass with the Seven of Wands or the Seven of Bastos in reverse. We are talking about you guys coming off as a dictator and that you are, because you're so you're starting to feel like, oh, everything's on me. Well, yeah, because you pissed everybody off, so now everything's on you because they all fucking left. Like, so what we're telling you is pull your shit back a bit, buddy. Pull your shit back a bit. Nobody likes a fascist unless you're Trump.
All right, Libra. So you are a fellow Venus ruled sign. And so this card is not surprising. You got the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about examining the quality of something, which we're already in Taurus season, which we already talked about. Quality is key. But this is more about the quality because Taurus is going to be your eighth house. It's about either the resources that you're getting from other people, other people's money. It can even be about taxes sometimes. Hopefully you are done with your tax stuff and you didn't need an extension, so you're done with that. But this is also about like the esteem of other people. It can be about insurance. But I think much like Leo, it is about maybe not making a decision necessarily, but studying something to say, does this look right? Is this the best decision for me to make? This is more pondering rather than being cornered into making some sort of decision like Leo. But it is very much, is there reciprocity in my relationships? Am I partnering with the right kinds of people? Do I care about the right people when it comes to their opinion of me? Also, just making sure that you're not being a people pleaser, putting yourself first to make sure you're good. You're actually putting yourself first when it's appropriate is also key as well. And so, Libra, that is for you. I was going to say
Scorpio, I'm reshuffling for you guys right now because I looked at all the cards. Everything came up reverse. What the fuck is going on with everybody? So we're doing something a little different. I'm reshuffling for the last 4 signs. And a card fell out and I like it. Because we got the Four of Cups in upright for Scorpio. What does that mean for you guys? It means that we are talking about emotional stability, feeling comfortable, feeling confident, feeling safe in your body, in your head, in your heart. The Four of Cups, I know I call it the apathy card, but in this case, because it is the Marseille deck, it reads differently, in that we're talking good times, just good times, and kind of wanting just to sit in it and enjoy.
Sagittarius, I don't know who you pissed off. The Ten of Swords for you. Were you running away from your problems? Possibly. In the original Wider Weight deck, we see 10 swords in a man's back, which could mean that he ran from something that he knew was coming. Honestly, that's how I always look at it. But it is some sort of break, some sort of betrayal, some sort of separation from an issue, even if it's hurtful. And so when we look at the astrology of all of this, Gemini is your 7th house where we see Venus. And so we are seeing partners that are very open to you or a bit sweeter. However, we see the Sun in Taurus where we can see some breakups happening. Or even if we look at it differently, we could see conversations around differing values between the Sun and who what the focus is as far as like resources, assistance, and help when it comes to Taurus like things. But also Venus is the ruler of Taurus season. And with that being in the 7th house, it's conversations that are happening with your partners about those things and what do you value. And if those things come up a bit lacking, it either means that you need to change the relationship by going your separate ways, or that something fundamental needs to change about it. And that might not make everybody happy because that's not what they signed up for. Hence the 10 of Swords. Either way, I think Sagittarius are really good at this, at not staying stuck on the downside too long, because you will rise again like the Phoenix. And that's the biggest thing that you have to take away with the 10 of Swords, is that things are being cleared out for a new beginning. And so that's for you, Sagittarius.
Capricorn, I'm not surprised. You guys got the strength card for Taurus season. Don't make that face.
The strength card coming because I've already been strong my whole life. I'm ready for a soft life.
Let me explain to you. The strength card is about soft. It's about a gentleness. And it's about with Taurus season, it's about learning to just being all right. I'm gonna let God take care of your ass. And you just not letting it get to you. You guys suck at emotions. We all know this. So the cap with the strength being your card for the season, it definitely means that you are going to be able to handle all the emotions that are being vomited up on you.
Aquarius, we've got the Queen of Swords. This is big you energy. That's all I can really say. Is you are seeing what is meant for you and what isn't. Taurus is your fourth house. Now, this is a more of a reflective time. And the Queen of Swords is about clarity and reflection before making decisions, and also making sure that she's prioritizing what is most important to her as well. She's also very honest. And when we're talking about Taurus a season being your fourth house, I think you're being very honest with family members, not really mincing a whole lot of words. Can that sometimes cause problems? Absolutely, especially because Venus is in Gemini in your fifth house. And so you are self-expressing all over the place. You are not holding your tongue. Okay. I would say just be careful because swords are still weapons, as you know. But just make sure you're pointing it at the right person.
So, congratulations, Pisces. You guys receive the Knight of Coins. This is weird because it actually means you guys are going to be a little bit more methodical about how you do things this season. You're going to be more strategic. Maybe it isn't as weird as I think it is because you guys are water signs, so you know to go with the flow. You know when things slow down and you need to be patient and just let it happen versus going quickly. So we're looking for you guys at Taurus season, understanding you just got to wait your turn. Your turn will come. And that while you're waiting, being very methodical about what your next moves are going to be, watching how the game is being played so you know what you need to do so that you can at least get a runners up prize. So you got the Knight of Coins.
All right, guys, we have reached the least favorite part of everybody's part of the show, which is the ending.
I thought the least favorite part was me showing off my saggy ass 40-year-old boobs.
Coming to a city near you. It is time for us to say adieu until Gemini season, which should be also very interesting, especially with Uranus there. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode and it gave lots of insight. Let us know also if you have any questions that you would like to see covered on the show. We'd love to hear from you as well. Other than that, Vanessa, where can they find you?
You guys can find me 5 days a week. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm not there, at Fusion Beauty Collective. That's Tucson. You can find me at Fusion Beauty Collective, 2067 East Grant Road. Yes, Grant construction sucks, but if you take Alranon to Flowers, or if you just take Flowers to Walnut, you'll avoid a lot of that. You can also find me online at www.bellabruja.com. And my handle, of course, is Bella Bruja. So BELLABRUJA. And that's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. It's Bella Bruja, but there's a dash between Bella and Bruja. So Bella and Bruja. So there you go there. And Micah, where can they find you?
You can find me teaching currently at Divination Academy. It's an online academy. Think of it as online Hogwarts. You can catch my classes there. You can get an apprenticeship with me there as well for no money on your part. And yeah, you can find me there. I do have socials, but I don't post on them anymore. I'm trying to explore outside of astrology and tarot, but if you do want to book me for a tarot gig or even an astrology gig, because I'm open to those too, then you can go and find me on gigsalad.com at Mystic Eden. And now that I think about it, I need to take new photos since I no longer look the same anymore. So I'll have to take new photos. But those are the two big places you can find me. And with all of that said, guys, we will see you in Gemini season. Enjoy your Taurus season, and I hope it is bountiful.
All right. Don't fuck up.
Bye.
Bye. Let's start off with don't fucking touch me. Well, fuck you. I'm already on fire.
For me, for the fire massage, because fuck it.